Our next guest is a very talented actor and comedian who you know from his work on Single Parents and Saturday Night Live. He is now back on Broadway starring in Spamalot, which is playing at the St. James Theater. Please welcome back to the show our good friend Taran Killam, everybody. Welcome back.
Hi, my friend.
Thank you for being with us on your off
Kidding
night.
me? Hey, thank you for having me. And not an off night. We're Monday shows.
Monday shows.
Monday shows. So
Oh
buy
my
a ticket
gosh.
to Spamalot. It's very funny.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Now, I will say Spamalot, when it first came to Broadway, I mean, I think like you loved the film so much.
My whole life.
Did not know what to expect from the play.
Yeah.
It was above and beyond my wildest dreams. Did you see it back in the day?
I never got to see it. I knew the album very well. I knew
Yep.
the songs that were original to the Monty Python films, like Knights of the Round Table and Always Look on the Bright Side, and then the new ones too. I live in Los Angeles now.
Yeah.
I have 2 children who are beautiful and say hello. And I did not think that I would be doing theater until they were like kicked out of the house. So
Yeah.
I cannot believe that not only am I doing a musical on Broadway again, but it's a Monty Python musical. It's just like the perfect job for me.
You have been very lucky with the times that you've dipped your toe
This is true.
into Broadway. You did a run on Hamilton as well.
Yes,
Hamilton is a musical.
It's a musical. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, $10. You ever seen $10?
Have you ever seen $10?
Yeah.
And so you got to play King George in Hamilton, which
Correct.
is a juicy part.
It's the cushiest job on Broadway.
Yeah.
You sing the same song 3 times. You wear a funny cape, and everybody laughs at that. It was an extraordinary experience, and I'm working so much harder now.
Yes.
I've made a terrible mistake.
Well, I want to ask about that. I mean,
Yeah.
you made a terrible mistake, but you have, again, way more, but these are the juicy parts as well. Lancelot,
Yes.
but you're also the French taunter.
This is correct.
One of the knights who says knee.
Yep.
Among others.
Yes.
And it must be, for someone who loved the movie,
Yeah.
it must have been so easy to get off book. Not to make it easier than it was. But
100%. I mean, and the challenge, if anything, is to not directly mimic Cleese.
right.
But also honor it, because I think a lot of the audience that's showing up has expectations of like, I know how to say knee.
Yeah.
That's not how they say knee.
Yeah.
But yeah, as we're doing 8 shows a week, like you find new wrinkles to kind of make it your own, but you want to honor the source material. And Eric Idle, who co-wrote the show with John Dupree, has been around. He's been hanging out for the last week and giving notes and compliments.
Well, now I want to say real quick, like I texted you because I had never met Eric Idle, and I met him recently because he was in town for opening night.
Yes.
And I got a chance to tell him how much I loved the show when it first opened and how excited I was, and he went out of his way to say how great you were, and I know how much it means to you. I want to show the wide first. You posted us on Instagram, so that's the great Eric Idle. But the look on your face when you cut in, this is a man receiving a compliment from his hero.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's really great.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Really, really lovely.
All of my castmates were like, oh, that's what it looks like when you're sincere.
Yeah. They're like, everything nice you've said to us is a whole different face.
You phony.
Yeah. You did receive great reviews. You opened last
Thank you
week.
very much.
Congratulations very
Thank you
much. And I
kindly.
know that's no small thing when you are reviving a show that was so well received however many years ago, 15, 17 years ago.
Yeah. It does feel like the bar has been raised because, Hank Azaria originated the role in 2005, and I'm a huge fan of his. But we received, in my opinion, the highest plaudit possible in our first week. We had to refund a ticket. We had to rebook a ticket because someone complained because the person next to them was laughing so hard they wet themselves.
Wow.
100% true story. What could you want more from a Monty Python musical than this show is so funny, people are literally wetting themselves?
wetting themselves enough that their adjacent seat
Are aware of it.
aware of it.
There's a splash zone
There's a splash
to the
zone,
urination.
yeah. They didn't wet their seat, they wet 2 seats.
Exactly. You'll like it so much, you'll wet 2 seats.
Yeah.
Joel DeRuyter, one of our crew members, came up with the perfect tagline, if we can put it on our marquee, "You're in for a treat."
Very good. Very good.
I mean,
one might say, yeah.
you know what I mean?
And maybe it was a little shame on me, but I remember because when I was growing up, that was one of those VHS, Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Not every kid watched. I felt like maybe the comedy kids watched. And so when I went and saw the show on Broadway, I was very taken with the fact of like, oh, everybody was onto this movie.
Yeah.
Because there is that greatest hits feel of, oh, I know this scene and I know how it's played, and people were in the best mood.
Yeah.
And it just must feel like such a gift to be able to sort of be the new steward of this material.
It is exactly that. Our first preview was Halloween night. People showed up in costume. There are many moments where I'm not able to get out my dialogue before people finish it for me, which is a treat.
Yeah.
Because this show kind of allows you to incorporate the audience, and so there's a looseness there. But I think Josh Rhodes, our director, really did a great job of freshening it up, of tightening it, but also kind of giving us permission to make it our own and to update relevant references and in moments where there's some improv and looseness, you know, where we're able to go off book. Leslie Kritzer, who plays Lady of the Lake, who is mind-blowingly talented and good, steals the show during Camelot because she does a whole lounge act that's like 100% original every night.
Wow.
And I say that so that hopefully people will come back multiple times.
There you go.
I think the show's that good.
Now that we've finished the good news, I know you are a Los Angeles Rams fan.
Big.
And basically,
Whose house?
damn it! That was
Damn it!
the most. I think that might be the most over one skis a guest has ever been. I like how you're like, people yell out your lines on Broadway.
Nobody
It must feel like the opposite of that. But
yeah, that's why I did that.
So I know on social media, I feel like if you're in town, you go to the game.
Yes,
Right, like you-
I have season tickets right in the front row. I love it. Yeah, I'm there.
And it seems like you know, like, this
Rampage?
guy. Rampage?
This guy?
His name is Rampage?
Rampage is a personal friend. He came to the show last night.
Oh, wow, that's great.
People said, why is there a 6.5-foot ram walking the stage? I said, because he's my bro. And he knows that whose house? Ram's house.
Oh, wow. That doesn't seem that.
And yeah, now we're 4 and 6.
Yeah. Whose house? Whoever
Ram's
came
house.
to play us. Those guys' house.
Yeah, that's mostly true this season.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's mostly true.
Since they've came back to LA, it's been very good for you.
Yes, yeah. I'm very involved with the team. I was on the Jumbotron just on Sunday when we beat the Seagulls. You are not a football crowd.
Well, they're also not called the Seagulls.
They are in the Rams' house.
Oh, my God. So, it feels very confusing to be at the Rams game. So, all right, you were in the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, yep.
You were, what was your Spider-Man
I
name?
had the honor of playing Web Slinger in
Slinger.
Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Phil Lord, Chris Miller, producers, writers of those films, knew I was a huge fan, but they also knew, I'm cheating because I can see what he's holding, that I had written the comic book issue
you had
for Web
already
Slinger.
written it.
I had
Yeah.
already written this single issue of Web Slinger, which is like Cowboy Spider-Man. And then Chris and Phil called me up and they said, hey, do you want to do like 5 lines in the movie? Like one of the biggest movies of the year. I thought about it for a while.
Played hard to get.
I played hard to get, saw a couple Rams games.
Oh, boy.
No? Okay. Yeah, no, it was a dream. It's the coolest.
I took my, it's a 2-parter. You know that, because
I'm
you're in
very
it.
aware, yeah.
I don't have to tell you anything.
No.
You're ahead of the game. So I brought my boys to see it.
Yeah.
And we saw it, and I don't know if other people knew it was going to be a 2-parter.
Yeah, there's a lot of story in that first chapter.
There's a lot of story in the first chapter. And my kids, they're just happy to see like Spider-Man on the screen. They're not. But it ended, and it was like, part 2 coming next year. And the woman behind us was like, what the
Oh.
And again, it's a Spider-Man. It's all kids.
Yeah, you wanted a what the thwip.
Yeah, or,
Yeah,
anything,
yeah.
or just like, just like take it with a grain of salt.
Like, well, I guess we're coming back, honey.
Yeah, you're gonna come back and see another movie. Like she's like, I can't go around the rest of my Saturday not knowing what happens.
Yeah.
So that was
sorry on behalf.
And guess what?
As the most important representative of Across the Spider-Verse, let me just say, ma'am, I'm sorry, but you won't be angry when Part 2 comes out.
You were also in a remake of The River Wild.
Correct. And we took away the.
Oh, it's just River Wild.
It's just River Wild for us.
Oh, that's great. That's so much better.
It's classier. It takes less time to get to how wild that river is.
The was my least favorite part of the original.
Same. No, it was amazing, and it was received very well, and was #2 on Netflix at one point, but I couldn't talk about it, so we were #2 on Netflix.
There you go. Now you're making up for it.
But we shot in Hungary.
Yeah.
We shot in Budapest mostly. That's where we were located, and I recreated one of my favorite Late Night with Seth Meyers segments.
You went day drinking.
I went day drinking by myself.
By yourself. So that's less fun than doing it with another person.
Yeah, you'd think so, but honestly, I can't remember.
So is this this is an ice bar?
That's where we started.
Okay.
It's 11:45 a.m.
Okay. Wow. And do you have to wear like an ice coat?
Or else you'll die.
Oh, wow. And then this is what, like bar trivia? But
this is bar trivia, like a comic book themed bar there.
Great.
That was just a bar.
Of just mirrors?
An aptly named bar. This is karaoke.
Oh, wow.
I met up with a friend for karaoke. It's not as sad as it seems.
It's still pretty sad. And then,
all right. And this is Rumpus. This is my favorite tiki bar I've ever been to. If you find yourself in Budapest, go to Rumpus.
Yeah.
They have the Death Race Challenge. And by this point...
What is a Death Race Challenge? These drinks?
These drinks that are increasingly more alcoholic.
Okay.
And if you win, you get a little yellow token.
So this is what you do for your alcohol poisoning?
Let's just say I survived the death race.
Wow! Taryn, you've had such a big year.
Of all the accomplishments.
That's the best one.
Yes.
Hey, thank you, buddy. Break a leg tonight.
Thank you.
Taryn Killam, everybody. You can see Taryn in Spamalot, which is playing at the St. James Theater on Broadway. We're right back with more Late Night.